20. Possibly the worst possible time to do that. I got myself set up the apps ready to date when I was in Scotland, and I met one woman on the apps. I had one message from her, and it said, "Aye, good you come out of the closet, but get the fuck back in your house." Thank you, Nicola Sturgeon. But my sexuality, I've always considered my sexuality to be very fluid, in fact, because I think it really changes once I've had a drink. When I'm sober, I love being left entirely alone. When I have had a drink, my sexuality becomes whoever gets within arm's reach of me. That's why we've left these seats clear. I don't think you got the memo. But I found as well over lockdown that my sex drive is a lot like a bear because it hibernated fantastically well. But once it woke up, it ruined every picnic I went to. But I found as like mentally I was quite good over lockdown. I think that's because I've been training for absolutely years. Because I was raised as an elite level only child. Because I grew up in a beautiful part of Ireland. You probably have heard of it. It's called the back arse of nowhere. It's beautiful at this time of year. But I spent a lot of time alone. And, I'd spend my days singing to rabbits, talking to sheep, dancing with wolves, really doing whatever I could do to win the title of Ireland's saddest Disney princess. I didn't win. Some girl, his stepmother, tried to drown her in a well, came first. Some people just have all the luck. But I think it's very hard for parents when you just have the one child. Because, if you've got 3 kids, you can kind of, tuck away the bad one. A lot of laughter for that one. Someone's in bad goods. Yes, Kate has got her master's this year. We're so proud. Yes, Luke has got engaged. He's doing so well. Yes, Maeve has started doing stand-up. It is very hard to hide the black sheep of the family if you're just going to have the one sheep. But I was at home in my lovely part of Ireland for the lockdown and for most of it as well. And I only had a local village beside me. And it's a place that isn't very diverse genetically. A friend of mine once said, when you drive through the town, you see the same face on 5 different people. 2 surnames, Byrne and mine. But we do have some people of colour, which is quite exciting. They come in the summer. Those colours are pink and orange. Pink when this gets into the sunshine, and orange when the ginger kids' freckles all join into one. But I struggled on the way back, coming back from the UK, because I found there wasn't a lot of solidarity when I came back to the UK, because I'd spent the entire lockdown working on one goal, getting my perfect before body. I put the time in, the work in, the socially distanced delivery orders in, and I've got the before body of my dreams. I came back and I saw abs, I saw 0% body fat. How dare you? How dare you? You don't get arms like that banging saucepans once a week for the NHS. That's more than an hour of day outside. But I was quite sad to find out that I actually don't really suit a before body because I am absolutely deathly pale. I don't have much of a chin, so when the light hits me just right, I just look like the ghost of a thumb. Which isn't really very good. But I've actually had to go back to working as well, which is quite sad. And I picked up some bad habits over lockdown. One of them was forgetting how to lie. I went for an interview at one point, and the guy said at the end, "Maeve, it sounds like you want to work here. You only want to work here for the money." No. Since I was a child, I always loved operational research management. I didn't get it? Oh no. We also picked up, I did get a job in the end, but I also picked up some weird habits that kind of prevented me from like keeping the job. Like for one thing, like I don't know how much eye contact is too much eye contact, what's too close, what's not too close. I just don't know anymore. What I have been told the amount I do is unsettling. Can you believe it? I also picked up one weird habit of calling dairy milk. You can probably tell looking at me, not a dairy milk drinker. I'm oat milk presenting. It's the cheapest way to exercise a superiority complex, so I do that. But I started calling dairy milk human milk. What? Horrifying. I also spent a lot of time alone, so I would talk to myself like an old vaudeville star as I walked around my house. So at one point I was walking around, I smashed into something. I went, "Oh, I haven't been banged like that since the 90s." And that was quite a disturbing thing to say aloud, because I was a child in the 90s. Had a long talk with my therapist about all these repressed memories. Oh, it's fine, don't worry, guys. Don't worry. It's all right. I am from Ireland, but I was okay. We weren't very Catholic. But I managed to get a job in the end, and like these habits kind of prevented me from keeping the job very long, because I got there and on day one they said, "Oh, Maeve, lucky you. You get to sit right beside all the biscuits." Ooh. Oh, great. Oh, well, help yourself to anyone you want. Maybe you'd like a cheeky. And if there's a biscuit that does not belong in a professional environment, I would say it's the finger. Maeve, maybe you'd like a cheeky finger. Oh, buy me a drink first. And that was my first meeting with HR. I did actually make a friend, which was very nice, and I got to take them out for coffee. And I said, "You know what? You're my friend. I'll get these. I'm having oat milk. Would you like human milk in yours?" That was my second meeting with HR. Great. I've been getting back into dating as well, and I was supposed to go for a date with somebody, and she's a bit younger than me. And in London, there's a really fun little thing, which is Bally Ballerson, which is a little ball pit bar for adults. But I said to my colleague, he asked me, "Maeve, what are you doing for your weekend?" I said, "Oh, I've got a date. She's a bit young for me, I think. We're in different places." Anyway, taking her out to a ball pit this weekend. Let's see how it goes. Apparently, that was my third meeting with HR, and that was a little too much for them. But I have been doing some sexy interviews lately, you know, what they're called dating, I believe you guys call it. And it has not been going well. It's not been going well. I went on one recently and I was talking about my favourite types of bridges for quite a while, and I was saying why the truss bridge is better than the suspension bridge. That's just for showmanship, the suspension bridge. I think we'd all agree to that. Yes, good. Well, at one point of the day, this man put his hand up and said, "Maeve, we'll stop you there. Have you ever been tested for autism?" I think that's another sign I'm not quite nailing the eye contact quite right. But I feel there's a nicer way to say you actually quite like the suspension bridge without getting the NHS involved. So, his loss. Good. But I was on the dating apps recently and I had a horrific message exchange where within 3 messages, someone said to me, "I bet I could feed you dog food and you wouldn't notice. I bet you £10 I could do it." Easiest tenner I've ever made. Also how I got my new job at Pedigree Chum. All right, guys, thank you so much. You've been absolutely wonderful. I'm going to hand you back to Samantha Day, our host.
That was brilliant, wasn't it? And it's a good job she's here after all those visits to HR. Have we got anyone from HR in tonight? Good, we're safe. Well, no, it's true, isn't it?